So I need your attention here, okay? We're going to talk about sustainable development.
I would say the vision of the World Youth Alliance is of personal excellence. You see all of these young people from all around the world. They care about others, they care about the world.
We all have the same mission because we all want to change the world. We all want to change our societies.
Everyone's talking about human rights, but no one knows why they're protecting them.
They're looking for answers. Who am I? Do I actually matter?
How can I really implement human dignity in my day-to-day life?
Just that idea that if you believe in something enough and you work hard enough, you can really change the world with something as simple as the idea of the dignity of the human person.
If you can teach people lessons of human dignity, there will be a lot less massacres or genocide. Which is why principles that WIA stands for, which is equality and dignity for every human being, is very important. Because unless you know why you're fighting for something, I don't think that goal can be achieved in the short term or even in the long term.
WIA is really making me see the beauty in a person despite everything else and making it something more than just ideology or a theory, putting it into practice and really kind of starting a revolution.
I think there is an urgency in terms of artwork. I don't see anyone else doing the work the World Youth Alliance is doing. Freedom is this huge burden of responsibility, but also power in that sense that through ideas you're shaping your surroundings and trying to sculpt them towards something better.
Human dignity is how he is to improve himself for what is true and what is beautiful.
It's definitely an urgent time to point out those inconsistencies in our different ideologies and show that we need to be consistently affirming the value of human life at all levels, otherwise we all become vulnerable.
Organizations like World Youth Alliance have to exist because there's a constant need for someone to stand up for the little guy, the person that has no voice, and that's what World Youth Alliance does.
The World Youth Alliance aims to educate young people on the dignity of the human person and to build solidarity among the youth from developed and developing countries. Signing up to become a WIA member is super easy. Number one, you have to be between the ages of 10 to 30. And second, you have to sign the World Youth Alliance Charter on our website. And after that, you'll be part of hundreds of opportunities around the world and you'll meet a lot of new friends. There are many opportunities for young people to get involved with WIA. First is through our advocacy-related events by studying our WIA white papers or representing WIA at international institutions. Second is through our educational projects like undergoing our certified training program, becoming an intern, or bringing the human dignity curriculum to your school or youth community. And the third is through our cultural initiatives like participating in our regional arts forum or through our Manhattan International Film Festival. WIA members should do the CTP because it allows them to understand deeper the dignity of the human person, and it gives them various reading, studying how movements around the world have really helped in terms of promoting the dignity of the person and what are some of the problematic movements that have led to various challenges in our history. First is really enjoying the readings. The readings are really rich and there's so many great authors that we've compiled through the CTP. So it's really important for you to enjoy the experience and not rushing through it. The second is for you to discuss these ideas with your family, with your friends, so that you're able to also get their ideas and their thoughts. And the third is if you need any help, just asking for your mentors to really help you and coach you in the process. WIA members can apply to our internship program, which is available online. It is available in all of our regional offices around the world, and we have limited slots, so I encourage you to sign up today. The World Youth Alliance invests in really educating young people on the dignity of the human person. And this is important because when young people around the world understand that they have worth, that the people around them have the same worth that they have, they're able to create excellent decisions and they're able to contribute towards the flourishing of their societies and their countries. First, you have to undergo the Certified Training Program, or the CTP, and once you've passed the training program, you can inform your regional director, and they will help you with the next steps needed for you to become a chapter leader for your own school or for your country. Yes, definitely. We have a program for them, and it's called the Human Dignity Curriculum. It's a personal identity program that helps children understand their dignity and how they can make excellent decisions. Yes, of course. You can become a World Youth Alliance friend. WAYA Friends help WAYA through various ways, by becoming a donor or by introducing us to youth communities or to schools all around the world. We'd like to invite you to join the 1 million young people all around the world and become part of the World Youth Alliance. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. See you around! Hello to all of our World Youth Alliance members and friends from all around the world. Today is a very special day because it's hashtag Giving Tuesday, a global movement that unleashes the power of people and organizations to transform their communities and the world. This Giving Tuesday, we invite you to donate a tax-deductible gift to the World Youth Alliance. When you give to wya.net/donate, your gift goes directly to training future leaders and building a culture of life. Because in the World Youth Alliance, your gift keeps on giving. Joining us here today are two WAYA leaders who can truly attest to this. But before we introduce our guests, we'd like to know if you're watching today's special episode. Please comment in your name and your country below so that we know who you are and where you're calling from, where you're watching us from. We want to brighten up your Giving Tuesday, so we invited two incredible World Youth Alliance alumni to really share with us their World Youth Alliance journey and what the World Youth Alliance means to them. And I would like to welcome both of them now. So welcome, Dominic and Maggie. Welcome to the show. I'm very excited to have both of you joining me. How are you guys? Welcome.
Doing well. Thanks, Lord. Happy Giving Tuesday.
That's very well.
Yes, definitely.
Super happy to be
Giving
here.
Tuesday. And I'm so happy to see both of you. And before we start, I'd like to invite each of you to say hello to our viewers here and to introduce yourselves. Please share with us how you met WAYA and why you joined the World Youth Alliance. So why don't we start with you, Maggie?
Great. So I been part of the WAYA family for over a decade now, which dating myself, but it's been a wonderful journey. I'm from upstate New York, and I went to college at St. John's University in Queens. And there I connected with the Pass the Peace Foundation and heard Mary Halpine speak. She was the WAYA president at the time. And I knew that I needed to be a part of this amazing organization that was changing the world. So I did my first internship at WAYA New York headquarters, right there in my home state, which is exciting for me to learn how WAYA headquarters worked. But I wanted to know how WAYA advocates for the dignity of the human person around the world too. So after my internship in New York, I did internships in Mexico and Brussels and worked on advocacy, education, and culture in those regions as well.
That's incredible, Maggie. Like, wow, like 10 years. That's amazing. You've worked, you volunteered to different WAYA presidents now. So that's really great. How about you, Dominic? Share with us your WAYA journey.
Yeah, so I haven't been a part as long as Maggie. About 5 years ago, I was in college at University of Mary, based out of North Dakota, where I'm from originally. And I was studying abroad in Rome at the time. And I don't know how it happened, but somehow Anna Halpine got roped into speaking to our study abroad cohort, and she was very, very persuasive and a good speaker, and we were all really kind of taken away by the presentation and by the story of WAYA, its mission, and what it was doing at that time. And there was a few of us in that group. We were really, really excited about it. And when we got back, we decided to take the certified training program together and start the work of beginning a chapter at the university. And things just kind of kept going from there. After that, I attended a ELC in New York once. And then I had the wonderful opportunity of going to Taiwan with you, Lord, and we spoke on sustainable development there for a little bit. So it's been a really fun ride.
Yes, definitely. It's been a fun ride. And yeah, I can't believe it's been 5 years for you, Dominic, and 10 years for you, Maggie. Like time flies really fast. I still remember the first day that I met each one of you. Like I just remembered like the joy that you both had that you were part of the Real Youth Alliance. And in today's episode, really want to share that joy with the people who are watching us. So I'm sure that they're all very excited, to get to know you a bit more better and also, to hear more about your why stories. So we're gonna get started. So we prepared a couple of questions so that our members can get to know you better. All right. So for our first question, I wanted to ask each one of you, why is the World Youth Alliance the best place to become a future leader? Maggie?
So why is the best place to become a future leader? Because it gives young people the tools they need to advocate for the dignity of the human person from conception to natural death at all levels, from the community level to the level of international fora like the UN or the EU. In my internships, I felt, because of the training that YA gave me, that I could go into these places, these UN meetings, and know what I was talking about. I knew, the human person is valuable, and we need to have policy centered around the person. And thanks to YA's training, I was able to explain this to UN delegates, and that's not a training you can receive anywhere else.
Thank you, Maggie. How about you, Dominic?
Yeah, for me, I think it's the first time I was really, so I've always been really engaged with ideas and been really convicted about the inherent dignity of the human person. But when I was exposed to Wyatt, it was kind of a wake-up call because it was one of the first times where I really saw how ideas need to be put into concrete action. And when I became a part of Wyatt, I, as Maggie said, learn the tools to be able to tell other people about this, and then also learn how to take a kind of big picture conviction and put it into this kind of packageable project, whether it be in my local community or slightly larger than my local community, and promulgate it to others and show the kind of attractive picture of the human person to other people. And I don't think I would have learned that, at least nearly as early on, without Waya.
That's great. Yeah, it's really nice to hear your answers, because I think ideas are very powerful. Similar to the founding of the World Youth Alliance, like Anna Halpin, just had this one idea, and she fought for it. And after 21 years, World Youth Alliance has grown around the world. We have over 1 million members in over 200 countries and territories, and it is really through Y members like you guys that we're really able to make this mission possible. Like Maggie said, from the grassroots level. We're present in different communities, from the mountains, the coastal areas, but even to international institutions like the UN and the European Union. And I'm sure both of you have learned a lot in your experience at WIA, through the certified training program that Dominic mentioned, and also through the internships that Maggie has participated in. So I wanted to ask, what's the best lesson that you guys learned at the World Youth Alliance that you'd like to share with our online audience?
I can jump in to start for this one. So the best lesson I learned at WIA is that young people can be powerful vectors for change. I came into WIA when I was 22 years old, and I thought, I'll have to wait for a little while, learn some things before I can start affecting change in a major way. And WIA taught me that, no, you don't have to wait. Young people can start changing the world right now. And the best example we have of that is Anna Halpin herself handing out the pink flyers at the UN and making really radical waves just by being there and by being a real proponent of human dignity and human-centered policy. And with Anna's example and the example of the others that I met and learned from at WIA, I just found it a really powerful, inspirational message that young people can really get the job done.
Thank you, Maggie. Yes, I have to agree. When I work with our members, like you guys, I really feel inspired that we can make a difference. At times you feel like discouraged, like maybe we're not really doing anything at all, but there's a lot of impact and change. And like you said, Anna Halpin, she was just 21 years old when she founded WIA. So it's pretty incredible what young people can do. How about you, Dominic?
So I would definitely agree with a lot of that. And I think the first thing is that the best thing is that it showed me I can make a difference. But even moving on from that, it showed me how to make that difference. And this is kind of relating to my earlier point. And WIA really showed me that when I have these great and persuasive ideas, they need to be accompanied. Those are important, necessary, and fundamental, but they're not enough. And they need to be coupled with these concrete programs or institutions to really share them with other people. And I learned how to do that. I learned the kind of nitty gritty of what that entails. Sometimes it's not super glamorous, but you have a big idea and it's important to share it with others. That those things are really important, learning how to package things up and share them with others. And then I guess the last thing is that it's so easy to have an idea, a strong conviction, and it's easy to have one. It's another to put it into action. And WIA made me do that for once. And it's a really hard thing to do. It's easy to talk about this vision of the human person with people who disagree, but oftentimes I was with people who disagreed, and WIA kind of gave me the tools and it gave me the confidence, and it put me in scenarios where I was really able to share this vision with other people. And I think that was really valuable.
Thank you, Dominic. Yes, I like what you mentioned about really the confidence, because at times today, like young people could feel like maybe it's not yet time, maybe I can't do it yet, maybe I'll wait for a couple more years. But as Maggie also mentioned earlier, young people are already the leaders, of today, and it's really important for them to have that clear vision of the human person, because it impacts, the work that you do everywhere. And as Dominic said, there are various programs that WIA offers. So we don't just teach young people ideas, but we actually work with them to implement real solutions that address real world problems today. We have the humanity curriculum, we have our women's health program, FEM, and these are just some of the projects that our young people do really to make an impact in their communities. And in the World Youth Alliance, we have 3 pillars in our work. We have advocacy, education, and culture, as Maggie also mentioned earlier. And for my next question, I wanted to ask Maggie and Dominic, if you could just pick, I know this is going to be a hard question, but if you can pick just one, which WIA program would you invite our viewers to donate, and why? Maggie, would you like to start?
Sure. You're right, Lord. That is a hard question, because they're all worthy programs, and I think people should donate to all of them. But if I had to pick one, I would pick the FEM program, Fertility Education Medical Management, because that's one that I use every day. I have the FEM app on my phone, and I use it because it's the only fertility app that I've seen that not only educates women and girls about their fertility, but doesn't treat it like a shameful thing. Fertility is amazing and should be treated like that. So the FEM app helps you track your period and your menses and tells you what's going on at every stage, and kind of celebrates your fertility. And if something is wrong, they not only tell you what is wrong or what is off, but they suggest that you seek the advice of medical professionals and help provide ways to do that. So I think it's a great app, grounded in science and education, and you should give it all the funding.
Thank you, Maggie. And a shout out to our FEM team if you're watching today. And as Maggie mentioned, the app is amazing and it's for free. It's available in a couple of languages. I think it's available in English, French, and Spanish, and Portuguese. And yeah, it's free. So download the app today. And if you want to learn more, you can visit the website, which is femhealth.org. Dominic, how about you? Which Y program would you invite our viewers to donate to?
For me, I think I have the human dignity curriculum has a really soft. It's very near and dear to me. That's one of the things that was most attractive about Wyatt initially to me, and it's one of the things that I'm continually heartened by when I read updates about feedback from places where it's been implemented. I was just looking at a video a little bit before hopping on today, and the videos of students saying things like, before I didn't know what dignity was, or I thought poorly about myself or others. This program helped me realize that I'm an important and unique individual, and always will be, and always have been. And it's very heartening, and I think it's really valuable for so many people who aren't as fortunate to hear that message all the time.
Thank you, Dominic. Yes, the HTC definitely is a very powerful program. In the World Youth Alliance in our early years, we mostly focus, training young people like in high school and universities. But we felt like if we really wanted to make a greater impact in society, we have to start training them while they're young. And that means while they're kindergarten. And the good news for all of our online viewers is we actually just launched, the pilot of our humanities curriculum for high school students in the United States. So if you're interested to donate to this particular program, if you want to learn more about this program, feel free to send us an email at education@y.net, and we can share more information about you. Like Dominic, and I'm sure also Maggie, hearing these stories from kids, on how these ideas transforms them and really change and shapes their worldviews is just really, really inspiring. One of my favorite quotes from an AT student is at the beginning, she said that she was a third grader in the Bronx, in New York, and they shared with us that I'm beginning to understand that it is through actions I care. So if I'm a good person, it also inspires others to be a good person. So imagine, what the world would like, in a couple of years, when most students, able to study this transformative education program. So thanks, Maggie. But we have more programs, so you can visit our website if you think there are other programs that you would be able to donate to. So for my next question, I wanted to ask you guys to complete this sentence, all right? So the sentence is, the world needs more Y leaders because, so again, the sentence is, the world needs more Y leaders because, Maggie?
The world needs more YA leaders because, as corny as it sounds, they are ready and able to change the world. Every year, one way I've kept in touch with YA is by going to the annual gala. And every year when I see the new YA interns or old friends that I've known for many years, I am impressed with the enthusiasm and the drive that they have to effect change. And I just keep being impressed by YA leaders, YA youth, because they just are ready to get out there and get things done. And they're able to use their creativity to change their communities and the world stage everywhere it needs to be changed. And they have the compassion to really get at the heart of what it means to be there for their fellow human beings.
Thank you, Maggie. That's beautiful. How about you, Dominic? The world needs more Y leaders because?
The world needs more YA leaders because the world needs constant reminders and pervasive reminders of the inherent, inalienable dignity of the human person, really going back to the kind of core of YA. That's what makes it so powerful, and that's why we need more people.
Thank you. If, listening to both of your answers, I think to summarize it in one sentence, I would really think that, the world needs more Y leaders because we need to share this message of hope. We need to share, this message of hope that, young people, can make a difference, and that young people are ready, to make an impact now. As Maggie said, it's really inspiring, to see all our alumni. Of course, that includes you guys, the both of you, to continue to see them, commit to this mission, even after years, of doing Y programs. Sometimes I meet Y members who have been interns, for 5 years, for 6 years, and now some of them have started their own nonprofits. Some of them are in med school or in law, and they still carry with them, the lessons that they've learned from YA. And for me, that's really, really inspiring. And for my last question, it's another complete the sentence. So this time I'd like you to complete the sentence. Without Waya, I never would have blank. I'm sure that this is a difficult question, but I'm excited to hear your answer. So again, without Waya, I never would have.
I'll start. Without Waya, I never would have found this amazing international network of friends and colleagues, starting with my first internship. I still keep in touch with those interns, and we've all moved on and got family and new jobs, and we still keep in touch. And I look forward to meeting new people every year at the Waya Gala. And this year, I was so blessed to be part of the Waya delegation to Taiwan. It was an amazing time to meet and get to know new Waya leaders who are making a difference in every region of the world. So this network is pretty powerful, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Thank you, Maggie. How about you, Dominic? Without Waya, I never would have.
Yeah, I never would have developed the confidence that led me to be where I am today. So Waya gave me the confidence to talk about the human person and how valuable and worthwhile the human person is. And it eventually led to me, I started writing. That's something I hadn't done before. I wrote some papers, and I ended up being able to pursue professional studies in bioethics and conduct scholarship and research over the last 2 years. And without that and without Waya, I wouldn't be in medical school, and I wouldn't be pursuing bioethics, and it wouldn't be such a large portion of my life, but it is, and that's largely because of Waya's impact.
That's really inspiring. Thank you, Dominic. And since this is a special episode, we prepared something special for both you guys, all right? Don't worry, it doesn't involve dancing or singing, okay? So one of the great joys, sure? Yes, I'm sure. One of the great joys of being a Y member, I think like Maggie said, is, really meeting friends from all around the world and, traveling to different places. And as both of them mentioned, I think one common denominator between the two of them is really both of them had a chance, to represent Y North America and Taiwan in different years for a global youth conference. And I think Dominic participated with me about 2 years ago. Is that right, Dominic? It was 2 years ago. And then Maggie was part of it. Yeah, part of it last year. We wanted to share your Taiwan experience with some of with your all-in viewers. So we prepared a couple of photos for this surprise segment. All right. So we wanted to invite Maggie first. And so Maggie, these are some photos that we've gathered from your co-delegates. Sorry, I wasn't there with you guys, but there was a lot of fun in this conference. And I wanted to showcase that in this segment. So Maggie, please also share with us your experience later on. So for now, let's take a look at those videos. Those photos. No videos, I promise.
For being tourists.
So this was November last year. Yeah. And was this your first trip to Asia, Maggie?
No, actually, I went the year before to Thailand. But actually, in this trip, my second trip to Asia, I first visited the Philippines before going to Taiwan, and I went to see Waya's Philippine office.
That's awesome, and we wanted to know what was your most memorable moment during the trip here in Taiwan?
Oh gosh, probably what's going on in the picture there, where my my group and I, with the Waya delegation, we were talking about how youth can be impactful and changes they can make, and things that we can bring not just to people in cities, but to all over the world. And so we focused on telehealth, telemedicine, as a way to bring medicine to people in rural areas as a reflection of their human dignity too. This is medicine is a fundamental human right. So people who are in rural areas deserve it as much as people in urban areas. And so that was our presentation.
That's great. You looked very passionate in that photo, Maggie. Like,
Thank
I
you.
can see it. You're ready to really represent. So you also mentioned, you had a side trip to the Philippines, which I think was your first visit to the Philippines, and I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
Dominic, you still have to visit in the future. Can you share with us what you love the most about your short trip in Manila?
Sure. So I loved, all of Manila. I loved the history I was able to see, but honestly, the thing that warmed my heart the most was that the WIA Director of Operations, I believe is his title, Miko Superable, he took an entire day just to show me around Manila, to show me kind of in a tour guide capacity, to show me all of his favorite historical spots and favorite coffee spots, which was important to me. And he'd never met me before, but he was so generous to give me a day of his time. So we really got close during that day, and I was just very impressed that he was able to do that for someone he'd never met before.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mika is actually now our regional director for Asia Pacific, and I can attest that WIA members are the best WIA tour guides, around the world. And yeah, that's really beautiful. So thank you, Maggie. I'm sure that the friendships that you've gained through the conference, will stay with you. You'll treasure them. And now I'd like to feature Dominic. All right. So I traveled with Dominic 2 years ago to Taiwan. And I think compared to Maggie, I think this was Dominic's first trip to Asia. Is that right, Dominic?
That is correct.
Wow. So here we go, Dominic. Here are some photos. Dominic, very passionate, talking about the United States and representing WIA North America with a Statue of Liberty. This was our booth. Very focused at the conference, Dominic. So share with us, Dominic, for you, what was the most memorable trip? Sorry, what was the most memorable moment of the trip?
Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely between actually presenting in front of, especially the big group. That was very memorable. But I think the most memorable was the skit that we did to the Hamilton theme song. I remember that pretty frequently, and photos pop up on my phone every once in a while, and it makes me smile.
I agree. Like, this was really a beautiful experience. We were like fully all out. We were so competitive, and I actually have a photo of us, in that performance, in my desk, because it just reminds me of the beautiful performance that we've had. And I think one of my favorite moments during that trip was Dominic wearing the Buzz Lightyear costume for the cultural party and the dance. So this was really my favorite moment. Dominic wearing the Buzz Lightyear costume for the cultural party. I think it was spectacular. Like, people loved it. I wish you could have seen it, Maggie. So can you share with us what is the story behind that costume?
Okay, so we were going to represent America and some kind of American themes, getting costumes ready before the big trip to Taiwan, and I wasn't entirely sure, but I came across this space suit at the store, and I just knew that had to be it. And all my friends say I kind of look like Buzz Lightyear anyway, so it was a perfect
I agree.
fit. And it's my go-to Halloween outfit. I was wearing it 2 weeks ago, and it served me very well.
It was kind of funny because I was asking the team, like, these are some of the costumes that I'm thinking of, us wearing. So I went to ask, like, do any of you guys, have an astronaut costume? And then Dominic was like, yes, I have one. It's like, what? You have an astronaut costume? Why do you have one? And so, we had that conversation. So that was pretty incredible. Thank you, Dominic.
You're welcome.
So this year, the conference was actually held virtually. So hopefully next time we can send more WIA members like you to conferences like this. Again, thank you very much, Maggie and Dominic, for joining me today for the special episode of Live with the Y President. I really had so much fun. I can't believe it's already been 30 minutes. And it's great to have you guys. Thank you for spending your time with us today.
Of course, it's great to see you, Lord, and meet you, Dominic. And thank you for inviting me to be a part of Giving Tuesday.
Likewise. Thank you so much. It's so nice to see you again, Lord, and nice to meet you, Maggie.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. I hope I'll see you guys in person next time.
I hope so.
You guys are so much fun to hang out with, so I can't wait for our next reunion. Maybe Dominic
definitely
can host
looking
us
forward to that.
in the West Coast. All right, so as I mentioned earlier today, today is hashtag Giving Tuesday, and with your support, more young people like Maggie and Dominic can advocate for the dignity of the person in policy, education, and culture. So visit wya.net/donate today and let your gift keep on giving. And all donations to the World Youth Alliance are tax deductible. And not only do we have a gold seal of transparency from GuideStar, the World Youth Alliance is also an accredited charity by the Better Business Bureau. So happy Giving Tuesday. If you are not yet signed up as a World Youth Alliance member, I would like to invite you to join the 1 million young people in over 200 countries and territories by visiting the link wya.net/get-involved to join our global movement for free. After you sign up, I also invite you to undergo our free training program. It's called the Certified Training Program. And you can visit wya.net/CTP to apply for this free training program. Be the first to know about our future events. Make sure to like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for joining us today for this special episode of Live with the Wire President. Once again, happy Giving Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.